The boy laughed and scampered off to find more. The child's mother smiled, carrying a sleeping baby in her arms, and said, "This is brilliant. Maybe I can get him to do some leaf pickup in our yard when we get home." The scarecrow tipped his hat to her as she chased after her son. Lindsey smiled and said, "Wild guess here. You're reading about scarecrows in story time?" Aiden said, "Correct. We're reading The Scarecrow's Hat, Scaredy Crow, and Barn Dance." "The kids will love it," she said. She gestured to the big maple outside the window. "Perfect timing, really." "I hope so," he said. "My wife is a tough act to follow." Aiden was the husband of Beth Barker, the library's regular children's librarian, who was out on an extended maternity leave with their newborn daughter, Beverly, named for the beloved children's book author Beverly Cleary, who had recently passed. During Beth's final stages of delivery, there had been some labor-induced talk of naming the baby Ramona or Beezus, but Aiden had prevailed and Beverly won out. "How are Beth and baby Bee today?" Lindsey asked. In addition to being her children's librarian, Beth was also Lindsey's best friend, and while they talked often, Lindsey had been giving the new mother some space, mostly to rest around the rigorous nursing and diaper-changing schedule she'd been maintaining for the past few months. "Amazing," he said. "They're both just amazing." His voice held a note of awe. "But Beth is ready to get back to the library. I think she needs to talk to some grown-ups, use her creativity, and get away from the constant cycle of nurse, nap, poop, rinse, repeat." "We can't wait to have her back," Lindsey said. "Not that you haven't been wonderful, but—" "No, I understand completely," he said. "This is definitely Beth's space, and I am just a placeholder. Thank you for arranging a job share so she can come back part-time. I don't think she'd be willing to leave Bee otherwise, and this will give me a chance to be home with the baby while she works. I expect to level up my bottle feeding and rocking to sleep skills." "I'm glad it worked out, and thank you for filling in for her story times. I don't think she'd trust anyone else," Lindsey said. "It helped that my library director is a new parent, too," Aiden said. "She gets it." Aiden was a children's librarian in a neighboring town, and he and Beth had met while performing dueling story times. When Beth went on maternity leave, Aiden's library director agreed to lend him out for the story times in Briar Creek until Beth was ready to come back. "Is there any chance we'll see Beth today for crafternoon?" Lindsey asked. "I know she read this week's book, The Code of the Worcesters by P.G. Wodehouse," he said, "so she's planning to attend, but it's really up to Baby Bee and the sort of day she's having." Lindsey nodded. "Understood."
"Mr. Scarecrow, can we have stories now?"
a little girl asked. Her hair was twisted into tight spirals on top of her head and held in place by hairbands sporting brightly colored flowers. She was trailing a very grubby and clearly well-loved blanket behind her. Lindsey squinted at it. She thought it might have been a nice shade of lavender at one time, but now it was a tired hue of pale gray. The girl's father followed her, carrying a bag that was already full to bursting with picture books. "Of course. Let's go get started," Aiden said. Lindsey didn't think she imagined the relieved look on the father's face. He barely suppressed a grunt when he picked up the bag of books and hurried after his daughter, who was skipping toward the storytime room. Aiden clapped his hands in a short pattern, and the children stopped what they were doing and clapped back. And just like that, they had gathered the last of the leaves and exited the main area of the library, leaving sweet silence in their wake. The quiet that followed their departure was short-lived. Hot dish, coming through," a voice announced to no one in particular. Lindsey swiveled on her chair and saw Paula Turner walking through the main room of the library. She had 2 oven mitts on her hands and was cradling a casserole dish that was giving off steam. She was headed toward the meeting room, where they held their weekly crafternoon sessions.